Hey guys, yesterday I told you that we were going to make a model to show how photosynthesis occurs inside of plants. So I've got a piece of plain white paper here. You could draw your model on plain paper or on lined paper in your science notebook. It's up to you. Let's go ahead and give our model a title. We're going to draw a visual representation of how photosynthesis converts thermal energy from the sun, to chemical energy inside the plant. So we're going to label the rays from the sun. This is our thermal energy, meaning energy that has heat. We're going to convert thermal energy to chemical energy inside the plant. Okay? Now, the chemical energy that the plant creates through the process of photosynthesis is sugar. And it's a particular type of sugar called glucose. Glucose is composed of 6 carbon atoms, 12 hydrogen atoms, and 6 oxygen atoms. Now, when I think of atoms and molecules, a really helpful way to think of those is to visualize in your mind Legos, like those little building blocks that you guys probably use to make different building projects. So I'm going to use brown Legos to represent carbon atoms. I'm going to use white Legos to represent oxygen atoms, and I'm going to use gray to represent hydrogen. So I've got carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Now, of course, in the real world, atoms are so tiny that they can only be seen with very, 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 very powerful tools and microscopes. So of course this is way bigger than it should be, but work with me. Okay, so I need 6 carbon atoms to create my glucose. So this is kind of like an ingredient for, you know, if you were like cooking something. Do I have another one that's, not all my Legos are the right size, sorry guys. Here's my 6 carbon atoms. I need 12 hydrogen atoms. Let's see, 3, I'm doing this off camera, 4, 5, 6, okay. I don't have all the right size and shape of Legos, so you'll have to forgive me. Okay. Now, atoms have this ability to build and rebuild themselves in different combinations to create different types of matter. So here I've got my 12 hydrogen atoms and then my 6 oxygen atoms. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let me see if I can stick these together. And when we take them apart and then recombine them in different combinations, we end up with different molecules. Molecules are just combinations of atoms. So this is one glucose molecule that I just built with all these different pieces. Sorry, this is kind of messy. Okay, that's one glucose molecule. This doesn't really fit on there. Do I have another white one? Here's a white one. It'll be like the controller. All right. Now, inside the leaf, this is the leaf, by the way. Inside the leaf, the plant goes through the process of photosynthesis, and it makes this little glucose molecule composed of everything we just talked about. That's our glucose molecule. And the plant is going to use this glucose to grow, reproduce, and repair damage to itself. Like if it, I don't know, I can't think of a good example of plant damage, but all of the growing and living that a plant has to do, the glucose is what fuels that. Now, left over from the process of photosynthesis are some oxygen atoms that the plant can't use. There's going to be 6 little oxygen molecules left over, and that is what the plant is going to produce as waste. So I'm going to use these little blue Legos, and these are going to be my oxygen atoms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. That's the oxygen that the plant is producing as waste. All right, so there you have it. This is my model showing you how photosynthesis works inside the plant. We converted the thermal energy from the sun to chemical energy in the form of glucose and oxygen, which is a byproduct or waste. So this here, this is the chemical energy. This is the byproduct or waste. So in terms of what you should record on your sheet, you should have the words and writings that I included here. You don't have to actually build the molecules unless you want to. And then to that, the only thing I'm going to add is that inside the leaves there are these little structures. Each leaf, let me draw a leaf on my tree. Each leaf is composed of many millions of cells. And inside the cells are little structures called organelles. Just like human beings have organs in our bodies that do a job, organelles are structures inside the cells that have a job to do. Okay? The organelle that we're learning about right now is called a chloroplast. Inside the chloroplast is where you will find chlorophyll. And chlorophyll is what gives the plant its green pigment. And this is where the process of photosynthesis happens, inside the chloroplasts.